Hello, welcome to Little Steps. My name is Tim. You can reach me at howdoidothis01@yahoo.com. In today's lesson we're going to cover pointing and clicking, copying and pasting, dragging and dropping. These are basic functions within the operating systems. It includes Linux, Macintosh or Apple, and Windows. From the very first version of Windows on up through Windows 7, these are all inclusive. It also will include any aftermarket operating system or any open source, which means freeware, including the ones I've already mentioned. Anyway, let's get started without further ado and try and keep up and have a good time. Remember, part of this lesson is to get you comfortable and familiar with the basic functions, but also I really would encourage you to practice and practice a lot and save your work as you go. If you're not comfortable with practicing and saving, please understand that you're not going to become proficient at using Windows or any other operating system unless you learn how to use some basic tools that are built into all the operating systems for functionality. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right in here. Pointing and clicking is nothing more and nothing less than what you see me doing here on the mouse. I'm using my mouse to move the cursor. The cursor is what you point, and when I say point and click, I'm referring to point with the mouse and left click your mouse button. The only exception to that rule will be is if it's specifically different for a particular operating system. I'm not real familiar with Macintosh, but in the Linux environment and other aftermarket GUI systems, graphic user interface systems that I've used, when they say click, they're speaking of left clicking. Unless it's specifically noted that you want to right click, then you always assume that it's left clicking. And the reason I'm saying that is because when you left click you get one result, and when you right click you may come up with another result. You should become familiar with this and not only understand it but become comfortable with it. For example, when you're on your desktop, if you left click you get nothing. When you right click you get a drop down menu bar, or menu box rather. When you go over here to the quick launch bar here on my left hand side, you can left click and you get nothing unless you're highlighting the actual icon. However, if you right click while you're still on the quick launch bar, you can see you have a different box that opens up here. That's completely different from this one. You need to make note and you need to understand it. The same thing here on your main bar here for your start menu bar. It's a different window here that opens up. Also, in some cases you can open up different options within these buttons down here by right clicking. You need to become familiar with these in order to use them effectively. If you're not comfortable using them, then please practice. Please save whatever work you're doing and become familiar especially with your Windows Explorer program. Now let's go there really quickly. I'll show you the programs that you should be most comfortable with and most familiar with in the Windows operating system. Now let's go ahead and follow on with pointing and clicking. If you left click on your start button and then click on your programs, click on accessories, this will open up another drop down menu. Notice the drop down menus are these little triangles here on the right hand side. Some of your menu items will have the drop downs, others do not. Make note of this. Also, programs will have drop down menus. You need to become comfortable and familiar with these as well. These are basic functions that you're going to find in most operating systems. Now, I've already opened up a paint window. I've already opened up two of the Windows WordPads, and I've also opened up Windows Explorer on my start menu bar. You should become familiar with at least these four programs for becoming comfortable with using the Windows and other operating system environments. There are specific functions such as point, click, drag and drop, copy and paste. They are functions specifically within the operating system, but if you're not familiar with them, you're going to have a real tough time finding things and using things. For example, if I say click on your start button and you inadvertently right click, you come up with a different menu. Okay, you need to be aware of this, you need to be comfortable with it, and you should learn these drop downs. You should learn that these options are here and what to look for. Your eyes are going to be literally the key in this program or this environment to see things and notice things. If you go into a program and you're not familiar with it, your eyes are going to be your very best tool to understand what's going on. Now they do have accessibility options for those who are vision impaired or hearing impaired to help you do this, but generally speaking, most people out there don't have these limitations, so we're just speaking about this for now. Anyway, let's go ahead and open up the documents that I've already opened up and the paint window. Now, in order to drag and drop, you need to first highlight your information or object. In this case, the information is text, and you highlight it by left clicking and holding the mouse down and dragging it across the text, either up to the left or from the right down to the, or excuse me, from the top left down to the bottom right. You can also put your cursor somewhere, use your shift key, and then use your arrow keys to highlight. Okay? You need to be comfortable with this, you need to become familiar with it so that you can do this in your sleep. Now if I left click and hold the mouse button down, I can drag it down to this box. Now if you can't see it, the cursor's changed shape. I have an arrow with a little box and a plus sign. Once you do that and you let go of your left mouse button, you have successfully dragged and dropped. Let me go ahead and do this again just so you know. Make sure that your window is highlighted in the foreground and active, meaning that it's in the front of all your other programs. Left click and hold it, drag it down and drop it. You can also accomplish copying and pasting by using either your edit menu drop down and cut, copy and paste. In this case you want to select all, and in this case if I mark it, right click on it, I can cut, copy and paste from here, or I can use my drop down. Either of these will work, but understand this: in the Windows environment, within programs or between programs, these will work in some cases. In some cases you can use the mouse, in other cases you can use the mouse on one and then you have to use the drop downs on the other. Be aware of that. If you can't copy and paste or drag and drop, try it another way. They give you different options for just that possibility. Some programmers don't put the options in. Some of them will allow you to drag and drop, others will only allow you to cut, copy and paste. Some will allow you to right click and cut, copy and paste. You need to become familiar with this, and you need to learn how to do this. Please practice and have a good time. Thank you for watching, and please tune in for more of my videos. Have a great day.